What is up, guys? It's your boy J-Pod, and today we are back with another episode of real world guitar tips from a real world guitar player. So let's get right into it. My first tip is focus on bending and making notes sound good before you start to learn fancy techniques like sweep picking. You know what I mean? The average person isn't gonna want to listen to that's just something to get you and your guitar bros like horny. You know what I mean? That doesn't get the average person that excited. Sure, it's cool if you throw it in there once in a while. What really is pleasing to the ear for the average listener is just hitting a bend and making it sound good. You know, one way to get better at bends is to hit the note that you want to bend to. So I want to hit this note. So I'm gonna bend up to it. You know what I mean? That's a good way. So make sure they sound in unison. Another way is to do the unison bends that are very common in classic rock. You know what I mean? All these things will help you. A great solo to learn to actually improve your bending and just your overall tone and strength as a guitar player is Time by Pink Floyd. That will really improve your bending and your skills, and it will change the way you approach guitar solo. My next tip is, guys, you don't need a perfect practice routine. You don't need to know exactly what you're gonna practice every time. Honestly, the most important thing is that you're picking up the guitar consistently. You know, obviously it's important to have things to work on and to learn new things and make sure you're progressing as a musician, but guys, you're not always gonna want to practice. You know, it's funny, I was just talking to my old guitar teacher and he said that there's an issue where he goes to these kids' houses and their parents are like, oh, I keep trying to get my kid to practice, but he won't practice. My teacher says that he always tells the parents that, hey, look, it's your kid's thing. If they want to practice, they're gonna practice. You can't force them, and eventually they'll come around to it. So if you don't want to practice, that's on you, but just know that you're not going to be an amazing guitar player unless you put in the work, because it takes time. My next tip is, guys, be more chill with the reverb and delay when you play. That rhymed. You know, a big thing I see, and I see this a lot with quote unquote like shoegaze players, is they put so much delay and so much reverb on their guitar. It doesn't even sound like guitar. It sounds like just like noise. And sure, it sounds pretty, and I get it for like a little zesty element in the background of your tune, but come on, you don't need that much reverb. You don't need that much delay. And I've heard it to the point where sometimes people won't even be playing stuff in time and they don't even know it because there's so much reverb and delay. I'm like, bruh. All right, my next tip, and this can be a little bit hard unless you got experience, is try your best to tell a story with your guitar solos. You know, I believe I mentioned this in a previous video. You don't want to pull out all of your tricks in the beginning. You know, I mean, it can work if you're playing like a fast lick to start off the solo. For example, you could go like this. That could be a cool way to start something, but really, I would say save your tricks, save your fast licks, save everything towards the end. You want to start off slow. You want to build a theme. You know what I mean? You want to play something memorable. It's funny because I got this hate comment from this dude who was like, I'm a way better guitarist than you. I play tech death. And it's funny because I don't think he understands that, bro, no one listens to tech death. And I'm saying that as someone who used to love it. You know, I know bands like Origin, Dying Fetus, Infant Annihilator. I used to love that stuff, but people don't like it because in reality, it's just a bunch of dudes low-key like circle jerking each other with technique and just playing stupid fast things. I like that because it's abrasive to the ear. It's not pleasant. People want to hear a theme, something they can hum along to. You know what I mean? You should be able to make 2 to 3 notes sound chill, right? Like, come on. And my next tip is most of the tone is in your hands, guys. You know, having a fancy guitar like this Gibson or an insane amp or all the pedals in the world isn't gonna make you sound good unless you know what you're doing. People are always like, Jay, how do you have such good tone? Bro, like, I literally use the sound called Arena Ready, and it's a pre-made setting on Logic Pro, and to me that sounds good enough. And the reason why people think I have good tone is because I play with good vibrato, I play with good bends, I guess, you know what I mean? A lot of it's just in the hand, the way you pick, the way you grasp the guitar. Really, I recommend just sitting and experimenting, hitting the guitar and finding out which feels the best. And you'll get there. Come on, guys. Keep shredding. Hit me up on Instagram. Comment. You could hate me. You could love me. I don't care. Peace out. Signing out.